All right. Greetings, everyone. This is Cassandra Floyd, also known as the Daughter of the Fates, founder of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. And I know the notice was last minute. I thought I sent it out earlier. I developed it, but I sent it out late. So most of you may not even see this till later, but I'm live. And as I promised yesterday, this live is going to be another reading, and it is from the great, wonderful, magnanimous works of Barbara Walker called The Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets. For those of you tuning on IG, The Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets. Take a snapshot if you need to. The Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets. Now, this book is just, oh, awesome. Who is the Facebook user? So housekeeping. If you're tuning in from Facebook or from Twitch, you have to announce who you are because for whatever reason, Streamline doesn't show it. All right. Hey, Misty. That's my homie. So, and then I'm also, so I'm live. I'm shooting this live video on or streaming this through IG, through StreamYard, which is through my YouTube, my Facebook, and my Twitch. So this book is the jam. And just as it implies, it is an encyclopedia. So like with most encyclopedias, you have to search the topic or the word or what have you, and then find out the information that you that is attributed to the word you're searching. So I marked off several. I was only going to do one or two, but you see, this is just from today. All these little sticky tabs is just from my searches today. Can y'all see that on IG? See how that's just from today. I was like, ooh, but this one's good too. Ooh, but this one's good too. Ooh, wait, this one's good too. So I was really trying to decide. It was very difficult. I think that one's a little solemn for today. I might wait on that one. Yeah. So anyway, I'll just go with my Ooh, this is a good one. This one I didn't even mark, but look at how the goddess works. She is like, yes, let's do it on this one. So today we are going to be discussing the topic prostitution. We're going to see what the Great Mother has to say about prostitution today, as according to the Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets. So let me mark this for later. All right, so I'm going to start by saying that this book, Barbara Walker's book, the Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets, is extraordinary. It is a wonderful piece of work. However, so this book I got hip to when I started reading The Great Cosmic Mother, right? Because Barbara Moore references Barbara Walker's work often in The Great Cosmic Mother, Rediscovering the Religion of the Earth. So I have bought almost every, I've bought about half of the reference material in terms of books that Barbara Moore mentions in The Great Cosmic Mother. This book by Barbara Walker is one of them. And the same, however, that I had for The Great Cosmic Mother is the same, however, that I have for this book. That is, this book, The Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets, was written in the year 1983, if I'm not mistaken. It's of no consequence. It was written in 1983. The Great Cosmic Mother was written in 1987. That's a long time and a lot of history revealed and a lot of science revealed, especially as it pertains to non-white women. Both of these books were authored by white women. So the however that I make in prefacing this book and in The Great Cosmic Mother is that these books, as well as others, the information is so currently relevant. However, it would really be interesting to have a collective of women of color in general and Black women in particular take these books as like foundations or as skeletons, if you will, through which we build and retell our story with the science and the research and the archaeological evidence and all that stuff that has come as a consequence of these books. And the other, however, that I have about the Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets is that it's not a however. It is, to me, indicative of the period, and indicative of the privilege that white women still hold within their possession. That this book includes nominal, minuscule information about Africa, about African women, about African history, and about African deities, because this book covers a lot of global ground. And I mean, hell, the book is thick as shit. Thing is an encyclopedia. It covers a world of hidden beautiful gems and the erasure of women in history and our contributions, and even the mystery of like our understanding of words, phrases, and catchphrases and where we think they come from, and just demystifying all of that, letting us know the origins of what we think is popular culture or terminology or whatever, and just blowing the lid off of it. And this book was in 1983. It's an excellent piece of work. But again, it would be fascinating to see a group of women of color come together and fill in the multiplicity of missing blanks that exist in this book. And she also has another book that actually came out before this one called The Women's Dictionary of Secrets and Sacred Symbols and Sacred Objects. The Women's Dictionary of Symbols and Sacred Objects. Gangster. Ooh, this book's so gangster. This book's so gangster. I don't know if y'all can see that. The light is kind of shining. This book gangster. I love this book so much. But again, it would be so dynamite to grab a collective of women for a year, Black, brown, red, and yellow women, a collective of us get together and say, we're going to take on this piece, we're going to take on this piece, and we're going to fill in the blanks and reissue Barbara Walker's, Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets and Symbols and Sacred Objects. That shit would be dope. So that's my idea. So if anybody proposes that idea to somebody and don't give up props, I'm gonna be mad and I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. Stop stealing people's shit. Oh, okay, I'll hold the cover again. The second one is the Women's Dictionary of Symbols and Sacred Objects. The Women's Dictionary of Symbols and Sacred Objects. So take a screenshot if you need to. The Women's Dictionary of Symbols and Sacred Objects. For IG watchers, Women's Dictionary of Symbols and Sacred Objects. That was the first book by Barbara Walker. And then the second one is the one we're getting into today. I'll hold that up again for people who are coming in late. Take a screenshot. It is the Barbara Walker's Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets. Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets. This is some game-changing shit right here, and I'm about to put it on y'all today with our read of the section. And I'll probably read a couple of sections. I told you I got a ton marked because I couldn't even decide what I wanted to do today. But we're gonna start with prostitution. Okay, Abasi, I see you in the house. What? Okay, so okay. What? Who is that? Is that you, Misty, saying that you actually found the book in the lost and found at the airport? Is that Misty saying that? Girl, That is not a freaking fine. That's a whole ass blessing. That's a whole, okay. She was like, bitch, you better read this book. Now I gave it to you for free, so you ain't got no excuse. Read the book. Okay. Damn. What a find. Yes. Okay. So we're going to be talking about prostitution today. Like the Devadasis of Hindu temples, prostitute priestesses dispense the grace of the goddess in ancient Middle Eastern temples. In ancient Mid-Eastern temples, they were often known as Sherites or Graces, since they dealt in the unique combination of beauty and kindness called charis. Charis, Chris. Y'all, first let me just show you how marked up my section on prostitution is. Okay, y'all see that? See all them yellow? Let me just tell you how marked up my section on prostitution is. That's why, listen, I be saying it half funny, half like, don't sleep on me because this is going to be my lot in life. Let me just tell you a quick story. I'm going to digress for a minute. So I be making jokes all the time, especially with my homegirl Misty back in the day. I was like, fuck this, man. I'm about to get into sex work. Fuck this hard labor shit. Fuck this bullshit. And fuck getting laid poorly by motherfuckers who ain't paying tribute. You feel me? I'm about to get up in the goddamn porn industry or the sex work industry. Fuck it. I'm about to jump on a pole somewhere. I'm about to go make this money, right? I joke about it all the time. How about I got my chart done for the first time, like my actual full-on chart done maybe a year and a half ago. And the things that I am always joking about are in my chart. My chart said, I paid somebody $200 to do my chart. So this ain't no shit that I came up with on my own. My chart said that I would be really prosperous in sex work. And my chart also said, because I'm always talking to you guys about wanting to do a station, a separate YouTube channel that is just movie reviews. How about my chart said I would also have a really prosperous career in doing movie reviews. Like, not even subtle, right? Anyway, that was my So anyway, I have been obsessed with this whole idea of like sex work and prostitution. I'm always joking about let me drop 50 more pounds. I'm gonna jump up on one of these poles somewhere. And then my damn chart says, yeah, bitch, go ahead and jump on a pole. You'll make a lot of money. That's what my chart said. Anyway, so we're going to talk about prostitution today. So charis, it comes from the word which means beauty and kindness. Charis, Chris. Follow me. That was later translated to charity. The combination of beauty and kindness is the origin of the word charity. Y'all ain't heard. Actually, it was like Hindu karuna, a combination of mother love, tenderness, comfort, mystical enlightenment, and sex. You a dancer like a stripper, Letitia? I'm reading y'all comments as we go this time. I would like to read this straight through, but I like your comments. Letitia say, I'm a dancer and it truly is lovely, but of course it has its downside. Do you mean by dancer? Do you mean that you a stripper? I'm asking, Letitia. Oh, snap. Yeah. Like, I would like to talk to you about that. Maybe I can interview you sometime about your life as an exotic dancer. I want to know. We should do that. We should schedule an interview. Yes, we should schedule. You hearing me, Letitia? We should schedule an interview so I can talk to you about your life as an exotic dancer, because I want to know. I ain't joking. Look, I'm out here. I'm hearing how these girls making money. You feel me? I'm like, I've been joking about this for a little while. You understand? Yes, let's do it. So my email address Misty, you know good and damn well why my ass got so excited. Shit. Oh my God. Okay. So, Letitia, my email address is releaseheartcenter@gmail.com. Releaseheartcenter@gmail.com. Just like it sounds, just like it's spelled just like it sounds. We gonna talk. We setting that up. Okay. So, charity, which in Latin meant the combination of beauty and kindness, but according to the Hindu karuna, it was the combination of mother love, tenderness, comfort, mystical enlightenment, and sex. Hesiod said the sensual magic of the sacred whores, or the horae, mellowed the behavior of... Child, how I'm still taking notes and that shit is all marked up. Child, Hesiod said we need prostitution because it mellowed the behavior of men. Child. Y'all motherfuckers don't know how to act right without prostitutes in your life. Uh-oh. Hesiod said the sensual magic of the sacred whores, or the horae, mellowed the behavior of men. Ishtar, the great whore of Babylon, announced, "A prostitute compassionate am I." Yes, Misty. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. Oh my gosh. Shall listen. Hold on. I got to take notes because I'm also working on this thing that I'm doing about the Roman Catholic Church and the revelations, the whole whore of Babylon and the end times and all of that bullshit. So I got to be taking some more notes. Okay. So it says Ishtar, the great whore of Babylon, announced, "A prostitute compassionate am I." Mary Magdalene said of her sisters in the profession, quote, "Not only are we compassionate of ourselves, but we are compassionate of all the race of mankind," end quote. Ancient harlots often commanded high social... Ooh, there's a movie y'all need to watch. It just made me think about it. Here's a movie y'all need to watch. It's called Dangerous Beauty. It's based on a true story, by the way. Dangerous Beauty. I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but watch it anyway. Dangerous Beauty. Okay? Okay, so let's see. So Mary Magdalene said, "Not only are we compassionate of ourselves, but we are compassionate of all the race of mankind." Ancient harlots often commanded high social status and were revered for their learning. Dangerous Beauty is the movie title. Yes, Dangerous Beauty is the movie title. They were revered for their learning. As embodiments of the Queen of Heaven in Palestine, called Cashapp, the great whore, the harlots were honored like queens at the centers of learning in Greece and in the Asia Minor. Some even became queens. The Empress Theodora, wife of Justinian, began her career as a temple harlot. Saint Helena, mother of Constantine, was a harlot before she became an empress saint. Oh my God. In an Egyptian story, a priestess of Bubastis demanded all of a man's worldly goods for one night of her love. The priestess Bubastis demanded all a man's... Let me tell you, let me tell you what's about to happen. God damn. That's why I got to be revisiting these books. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all something right now. It looks like I'm going to be digressing a lot more than I anticipated. Whoa! Son of a bitch. Let me tell you. We gonna have to gut punch these men out here talking about, we about to have to gut punch these bitches. These men out here talking about what women bring to the table. These men out here calling women gold diggers. These men out here blaspheming women in every way possible. These men out here shaming women. These men out here spitting venom on the name of women's on the names of women. We about to have to gut punch these bitches, and history is going to allow us to do that. You hear me? I'm gonna just tell you, it don't even have to be history, because if you have me tell it, that bullshit about what women bring to the table, if you hate the fact that women are out here participating in, investing in, seeking out relationships with well-adjusted men who got money, men who got bread, or they are quizzing you based on what you do or do not have possession of, whether that be cars or money or whatever, then don't be mad at women, bitch. Demand a society that pays women equal value for the labor that they produce. How about that? Be mad at the state for making it so that women do not get paid the value of their labor, that women make less than 50 cents to every dollar one man makes, no matter what his shade of color is. You want to be mad about some shit? Don't be mad because a woman tells you, bitch, every time we go out, you getting a check. That's a guarantee. That's not even some shit that's worth discussing. Like, how the fuck that's even the conversation we having right now? The fuck you mean going Dutch? That's some bullshit. No, bitch, you gonna pay every time until the world is made right, until I get paid the value of my labor. You understand? Until women can be self-sustaining without seeking partnerships. I do not blaspheme no woman who say, yes, bitch, you gonna pay. And more than that, even if I do make the value of my labor, you still gonna pay. Because that's what offerings are. That's what tithing is. You understand? Anyway, that's the end of my digression. But I just want to say, here it says, in ancient Egypt, a priestess of Bubastis demanded all of a man's worldly goods for a single night of her love. She said, quote, I am the Herodule. I am no mean person. Until recently, Egypt still had a class of women called Gazier, sacred whores, who were greatly honored in the time of Mamelukes and prized as brides when their period of service had ended. They were prized as brides when their service to the goddess had ended. Temple prostitutes were revered as healers of the sick. She said, hell, back in the day, you had to bring a dowry. The fuck? Like, why y'all complaining about a woman paying for fucking dinner? Okay. I got what you meant, sis. Okay. Temple prostitutes were revered as healers of the sick. Listen, their very secretions were supposed to have medicinal virtue. You can't hear it. Oh my God. She said, look, motherfucker, you can't see? Let me come in your face. You'll be able to see. Oh my God. Okay. I didn't make that up. That's what the book say. That's what the book say. Temple prostitutes were healers. God damn it. And their very secretions, their womanly secretions, were supposed to have medicinal value, but medicinal virtue, excuse me. A Sufi proverb still suggests this opinion today. There is healing in a woman's vagina. Oh shit, is this the basis behind these fuckboys in Africa raping old women and virgins because they believe that they can cure AIDS by raping women? Is this the origin of that bullshit? A Sufi proverb still suggests as much today. Quote, there is healing in a woman's vagina, end quote. Even their spit could perform cures. Jesus's cure of blindness by spittle in Mark 8:23 was copied outright from matriarchal tradition. He's a lie. You feel me? A K tablet from Nineveh says eye diseases can be cured with a harlot spit. Harlots were also sorceresses, prophets, and seers. The Hebrew word zona means both prostitute and prophetess together. Together. You jumping the gun, Letitia. We ain't got there yet. Holy mothers designated the promiscuous priestess shamanesses of Japan, also known as spirit women. Becoming brides of God, they entered the shrine to lie with a priest possessed by the God's spirit. Similar customs distinguished the Indian devotesses, human copies of the lascivious heavenly nymphs. The profession was popular. Temples of Aphrodite at Eryx, Corinth, Cyprus, and other sites were served by 1,000 sacred harlots apiece. When Hellenic Greeks reduced wives to the status of servants, the heterae, or the courtesans, remained legally and politically equal to men. And that's, baby, let me just tell you, let me just enlighten you right now. On this day, you heard it here first. The reason that all these people, men in particular, but misogynistic women as well, hate the sexual liberation of women in general and the absolute sexual autonomy and liberation of Black women is because ownership of your sexual autonomy, sexual sovereignty is synonymous with total power. They say it right here. That even if wives didn't have no motherfucking rights, wives were not in Greek society, in Roman society, in European society, all the way up until damn near the late 1900s, not allowed to go to school, not allowed to read, not allowed to write. You feel me? But even in those same periods where women who were wives did not have no rights, prostitutes were able to go to the libraries where men went, had equal rights that men had. That's that movie Dangerous Beauty. That shit gonna fuck you up. This shit was great to me. I mean, it's about Europe. It's about Spain at the time of the Inquisition and how the Inquisition basically subdued the culture of the courtesans, reduced it was the church galvanizing the fear of the people that ended up transforming the courtesans were like the most famous people in Spain. They were the only ones that were women that were allowed to go to school, allowed to read, allowed to go to the public libraries, sit in political office, with men while they women was in there stitching fucking cross stitching bullshit. You understand? Wearing goddamn, what you call them? Chastity belts and shit. The courtesans was out there living life, learning how to fucking fence and shit, while these men's wives who were soliciting the company of courtesans was leaving their wives at home to be blissfully ignorant, cooking and cross-stitching and shit. You feel me? The movie is good. You're gonna have to look it up because I don't know what it's on. I do not know. I have it on DVD. That's how old my copy is. You might be able, I don't know. Just Google it. Just Google it. You should be able to watch it somewhere for free though. But anyway, I digress. Let's see. Okay, so here we go. It says it says when the Hellenic Greeks reduced the wives to the status of servants, the heterae or the courtesans remained legally and politically equal to men. That's what these motherfuckers are scared of. They are scared of empowered women regaining power. And sex is the way that happens. Sex is the great goddamn balancer of power. Whoop. Okay. Oh, let me get in here and preach a word right now. Roman matrons of the highest aristocracy prostituted themselves in the temple of Juno Sospita when a revelation was needed. Every Babylonian woman prostituted herself in the temple before marriage. Every single Babylonian woman prostituted herself in the temple before marriage. By Amorite sacred law, quote, she who was about to marry should oh my God. By Amorite sacred law, follow me, okay? Quote, she who was about to marry should sit in fornication for 7 days by the gate of the temple. Such laws were supposed to appease the goddess who disapproved of monogamy in the era when there was no formal marriage and children didn't know their fathers. Come on, man. Come on, man. What it means when they say when children did not know their fathers, it means during the time of the matrilineal passage of one's knowing. You knew yourself through your mother because your mother had sexual autonomy. She could have sex with whomever she wanted. And so it was not necessary to know the father. You had community fathers. The line was established through the mother, you see. So it says, the goddess disapproved of monogamy in the era where there was no formal marriage and children did not know their fathers. In Greek myth, the great mother forbade the heavenly father Zeus to make a monogamous marriage, holding that only her own ancient system of group marriage was honorable. I know some Negro is going to mistake this for the upholding of polygamy. And that ain't what this is. The tantric word, because polygamy does not center women's sexual autonomy. That's the problem. The tantric word for a sacred harlot was Vesha, probable origin of the goddess's oldest name in Greece and Rome, Hestia or Vesta, and the hearth mother served by the Vestal virgins who were originally harlot priestesses. Hearth and earth both arose from the altar of the Saxon goddess Eartha or Hertha, the northern Hestia Vesta. In the matriarchal age, every woman's hearth fire was her altar. What did I just say? Oh, did y'all catch that? In the matriarchal age, every woman's hearth fire was her altar. The hearth was also the omphalos, feminine hub of the universe, the navel stone of the temple, around which the sacred harlots performed their dance of time. Dancing harlots came to be called hours. Dancing harlots came to be called hours. Hours. Persian houri. Houri. Greek hore. Horae. Egyptian temple women also were ladies of the hour. Each ruled a certain hour of the night and protected the solar boat of Ra in the underworld during his passage through her hour. The dance of the hours began as a pagan ceremony of the Horae, the divine whores, who kept the hours of the night by dances, as Christian monks later kept the hours of the day by prayers. Y'all ain't hearing. If y'all wig ain't peeled back, y'all ain't listening. As Christian monks later kept the hours of the day by prayers. Sound familiar? The oldest authentic Hebrew folk dance is still called Hora, Hora, after the circle dances of the sacred whores. The Horae also guarded the gates of heaven, ministered to the souls of the blessed, and turned the heavenly spheres. The Hebrew word hor, mean. Child, listen. This should have been this gonna end up being a whole sermon for the temple. The Hebrew word hor means a hole, a cave, a pit, which is common synonyms for both a sacred prostitute and the goddess she served, whose yoni was represented by a hole, a cave, a pit, or a pool of water in the heart of the temple. A simple Latin term was putius, a well or a pit, the source of the Spanish word puta, which means whore. Y'all ain't hearing. Child, listen, I'm gonna need y'all to start using your emojis. You understand? I'm gonna need some hand claps. I'm gonna need some prayer hands raised. You feel me? I'm gonna need some like whoop, shout out emojis, because this is a sermon I'm delivering right now. Child, didn't even intend it. I was just gonna read to you guys. This is a sermon I'm delivering right now. Even the Hebrews who have hidden from you everything. Thank you, Faye. Thank you, Misty. Who have hidden from you the origin of all things with language. Even in the Hebrew, the word whore is a representation of the sacred prostitute and the goddess simultaneously, represented by a hole, a cave, a pit, or a pool with water in the center of the temple. And the Latin term putius, which means a well or a pit, is the source of the word puta that you thank you, church organ, yes, okay, that you use to call someone a whore. Meanwhile, you do not know that you are shouting her out, recognizing the goddess in her body. in her hole, in her pit, in her pool of water. That's a representation of the mother's temple. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yes. God damn it. Oh. Oh. Child, listen. I'm about to hit y'all with the 1-2 out this bitch. Okay. Or the pool of water that sits at the heart of her temple. A similar Latin word puta, which means a well or a pit, is the source of the Spanish word puta. Putius is the source of the word puta, which means whore. Common folk, the Romans buried in the puticuli, which is a pit, which, like all graves, used to stand for the womb of rebirth. All graves used to stand for the tomb of rebirth, or the womb of rebirth, right? The common root was Vedic. Vedic puta, which means pure or holy, like to have a hole within. Oh, holy. And the Avestans Putika, a mystical lake of the waters of birth. All these different languages saying the same thing. That's why we have to stop giving others so much power to define. Yes, ma'am, Miss Letitia. I love that. Who said the great whore bitch, the queen whore bitch? Yes, Misty. Yes. Right? The Lady of the Lake was the title of the great goddess throughout Eurasia. In Aramaic, her shrines were the Athra Kadisa, the holy place, literally a heavenly, which literally translated to a heavenly harlot place, or a genital pit or lake. They talking about wet pussy. They talking about wet vagina. What did they just say? What did they just say? I ain't making this up. Why y'all mad at Why y'all mad at Cardi B for talking about wet ass put right here? This is a couple thousand years old. Right here. They say the Lady of the Lake was a title given to the great goddess throughout Eurasia. In Aramaic, her shrines were called the Athra Kadisa. The Athra Kadisa, the holy place, which literally translates to a heavenly harlot place, or a genital pit or lake, a wet ass pussy. I didn't make this up. It's right here in black and white. You feel me? This right here. You feel me? To dive into water means to delve into the mystery of Maya, to quest after the ultimate secret of life. The cosmic waters are at once the immaculate source of all things and a dreadful grave. Y'all ain't hearing. This is preaching I'm delivering right now, man. To dive into water means to delve into the mystery of Maya, to quest after the ultimate secret of life. Child, all Asia called water a female element, the source of creation, the arche of Stoic philosophy. To dive into such water was a symbol of sexual intercourse. This 6,000 years old, what they talk about right here. This 6,000 years old, what they talking about right here. But y'all mad about wet ass pussy. This 6,000 years old, what they talking about. They just said it. They just said it right here. What did they say? To dive into such water, period, was always a symbol of sexual intercourse. So fine, it's more poetic than wet ass pussy. It's the same shit, same thing. Communing in this way with a holy whore, man could realize the spiritual enlightenment called horasis. Child, I'm done. I can't. Oh my God. Listen, y'all ain't fucking with me. Y'all ain't rocking with me. You feel me? Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. These motherfuckers they done pulled a hell of a coup d'etat on our goddamn brains, on our collective ass consciousness. You feel me? Communing in this way with a holy whore, man could realize the spiritual enlightenment called horasis. You feel me? This word appears in the New Testament. This word appears in the New Testament. I should just pull out my motherfucking Bible right quick on y'all. This shit appears in the New Testament in Acts 2:17. Misleadingly I gotta be done, y'all. I got a headache. I can't. Listen. Okay, let me spell it. It's HORASIS. Brother say get a church fan. Yo, this shit out here I got a headache. You feel me? This shit is too much. It's too much what they've done to us. It's too much, man. So it say here, communing in this way with a holy whore, man could realize the spiritual enlightenment called horasis. This word appears in the New Testament, Acts 2:17, misleadingly translated to visions. To visions. A Semitic clan, the Horites, child, listen, God, motherfucking damn right now. The Horites of Genesis 36 traced their descent from the great goddess Hora. This is preaching that I am doing on this here day. What's the date? 7/21/2023, child. This is a sermon I'm giving right now. The Semitic clan, the Horites of Genesis 36, trace their descent from the great goddess known as Hora, Hora. The Jews had cult prostitutes in the time of King Josiah, when they lived next to the temple and wove hangings from the sacred grove. 2 Kings 23:7. I'm jotting all this shit. I'm about to do a sermon for y'all this weekend. Watch my smoke. Modern translations of the Bible call them sodomites. Oh boy, about to knock a bunch of y'all shit off y'all square. Sodomites ain't what you think it mean. Sodomites ain't what you think it mean. But the original wording meant holy harlots. Modern translations in the Bible call them the people, sodomites. But the original wording meant holy harlots. Such holy harlots were often brides of God, set apart to give birth to sons of God, i.e., prophets and sometimes sacrificial victims. Let me read that whole thing again. Modern translations, the Bible call them sodomites, but the original wording meant holy harlots. Such holy harlots were often brides of God, set apart to give birth to sons of God, i.e., prophets and sometimes sacrificial victims. And let me just take a side note right here. I'm gonna put this in my notes, because I'm weaving all this shit together. I'm telling y'all need to pay for me to go to Rome. That's the call that I'm putting out. I'm going to continue to put that call out. I need to go to Rome, and I'm not paying for it. Y'all need to do a fundraiser to get me to Rome. Let me tell you why. I just watched this whole documentary because y'all know I'm obsessed with the idea that the Roman Catholic Church is still behind the global occupation of human labor and human energy, right? I am convinced of this evil trinity being the Roman Catholic Church, Islam, and Judaism working together to maintain a hegemony over the planet and its labor and its resources. I'm convinced of it. You feel me? So I'm watching this documentary, right, about the history. Now, this documentary, so you got to listen to Christians and you got to listen to, like, I subscribe to the Roman Catholic Church's newsletter. Just so y'all know, I get my news from the horse's mouth. They gonna tell on themselves before any conspiracy theorists will. You feel me? So I watch they shit. I watch their news. I read their papers. So I'm weaving through this shit. You feel me? And I'm gonna tell you, it's not some conspiracy theory that I'm giving you. I ain't gonna go into that side note. But anyway, so back to this holy harlot thing, right? They were known as the holy harlots who were set aside as brides of God to give birth to sons of God and sometimes prophets and sacrificial victims. Let me tell you, I'm watching this Christian do this presentation. It was like a 3-hour presentation on the history of all of the priests from the transition of the Roman Empire, the Holy Roman Empire, to the Holy Roman Church, the Holy Roman Catholic Church. Right? The transition from empire to now being the face of religion on the planet Earth. This dude goes one by one of every pope that has ever reigned since the beginning, since the advent of the Holy Roman Church. And more than half of them were believed to be born to prostitutes. They had priest daddies. They had priest daddies who were born to prostitutes. And it was in the Great Cosmic Mother where she talked about how the Roman Catholic Church came down so hard on the prostitutes of ancient Rome, on the prostitutes of Italy, but it was the seized earnings of prostitutes that built the Vatican. It was the seized earnings of prostitutes, the majority of the money that came through the hands of the Pope to build the Vatican came from seized earnings of the prostitutes in Italy. And so this came from the Great Cosmic Mother. Then I watched this documentary and he was like, he don't say nothing about prostitutes paying for the building of the Vatican, but what he does say is that the majority of priests who have held seats in the Vatican have faceless, nameless mothers and have priests as fathers. Their faceless, nameless mothers were prostitutes. Y'all ain't hearing me. Y'all ain't hearing. Priests ain't supposed to be able to have sex, y'all. That's what I'm saying. Pope supposed to be what you saying? The Pope ain't supposed to be having sex. How all of the priests half the priests of the Roman Catholic Church, half the popes of the Roman Catholic Church since the beginning of the Holy Roman Catholic Church got priest daddies. Their daddies is priests to prostitutes. It says here, the holy harlots were often brides of God. What do they call nuns? Brides of God. That's what they call them. You understand? They were brides of God, set apart to what? Give birth to sons of God, i.e., prophets and sometimes sacrificial victims. Haven't we heard the stories of priests having sex with nuns in the fairways underneath the Vatican and killing the offspring as ritual sacrifice? I've heard that. I heard that growing up. I heard that as a little kid. You understand? I'm just saying. Anyway, I will continue. Move on. Holy whores were called virgins. Holy whores were called virgins because they remained unmarried, not because they had never had sex. Yeah, because they remained unmarried. Like medieval nuns, they took veils as a badge of their office. Ishtar, Asherah, Mary, Aneth was not only the great whore, but also the great virgin, the holy one, Kadisha. Her Greek name was Athena, also described as a virgin. But Athena's temple, the Parthenon, was served by promiscuous Herodules, like all other shrines of the goddess. Later myths rationalized the perpetual, quote, virginity of lascivious fertility goddesses by periodic hymen renewing ceremonies, such as a sea baptism, annual bathing in sacred springs, etc. The virginity of Great Mother Hera was annually restored by a dip in the spring of Canethus at Nauplia. Pausanians said the myth was based on a rite of bathing the goddess's image. Because whores occupied a significant position in paganism, Christians vilified their profession. Churchmen didn't want to stamp out prostitution altogether, only to amputate its spiritual meaning. Child, I'm done. I'm done. Listen. Child, the more things change, the more things stay the same out this motherfucker right here. I said, look, because whores occupied such a significant position in paganism, Christians vilified their profession. Churchmen didn't want to stamp out prostitution altogether, though, because they were still soliciting the affections and the attention of prostitutes behind closed doors. They didn't want to stamp out prostitution altogether. They only wanted to amputate its spiritual meaning. St. John Chrysostom earned high praise from the Patriarch of Constantinople for robbing temple prostitutes of the honors paid to them. What did I just tell you? That the church stole all the goddamn prostitutes' money to build the Vatican. He was honored by the Patriarch of Constantinople for robbing temple prostitutes of the honors paid to them. The triad of heavenly Horae were mythically virginized as three maiden saints martyred together: Agape, Chaeronia, and Irene. Martyred together. Agape, Chaeronia, and Irene. Love feast, she of chaos and peace. Real real hore were regulated to hora houses, Hora, hora houses, no longer temples. They were kicked out of the temples and relegated to hora houses, whorehouses. The traditional red light of the whorehouse descended from the Roman. The traditional red light of the whorehouse descended from the houses of Roman veneree who displayed the sign of an erect phallus painted blood red. That's where the red light comes from. It says the traditional red light of the whorehouse district descended from houses of Roman veneree, who displayed the sign of an erect phallus painted blood red. Medieval Germanic law forbade a man to build a horgr, or to call his house a horgr on pain of forfeiting every penny he owned. Forfeiting every penny he owned, because horgr meant a pagan shrine. Horgr didn't mean it meant a pagan shrine. A house of holy whores where priestesses carried on the old religion. Such place names as Horgsholt, Horgsholt, Horgsholt in Iceland still identify ancient shrines today. In the year 1000 AD, the Icelanders agreed to become Christian in name at least, and to be baptized, but all who wished were still legally permitted to celebrate the rites of their ancestors in private houses called Horgr, Horgr, for a while, until the church rescinded its promises of tolerance. In earlier centuries, the Horgr seems to have been a mons veneris or umphalis in a sacred grove. Sometimes the alternate word hus, which literally means house, hus. Sometimes the alternate word hus, which means house, carried the same sense of a place of worship. Because every matriarch once worshipped the goddess in her own hearth, her own house, which she could share with more than one husband, H-U-S, band, husband. Since the word hussy, lady of the house, hence the word hussy, lady of the house, by Christian definition, is a promiscuous woman. Let me read that whole little thing for you again. Sometimes the alternate word hus, which means house, carried the same sense of a place of worship. Because every matriarch once worshipped the goddess of her own hearth, which she could share with more than one husband. Hence, the word hussy, lady of the house, by Christian definition, is a promiscuous woman. Promiscuity was appreciated rather than deplored by medieval men singers who worshiped the goddess under her new name of Mene, which means love. They objected to commercialized prostitution as a degradation of their deity. Quote, love, the queen of all hearts, the freeborn. Oh my God, y'all. Listen, God damn it. Shit. Love, The queen of all hearts. Oh my God. The queen of all hearts, the freeborn, the one and only, is put up for public sale. What a shameful tribute is this that our mastery has required of her. Child, they was outraged. They was like, what the fuck these Christians doing? Because the Christians were the ones that demoted her. They said of their deity. They was like, they objected to the commercialized prostitution as a degradation of their deity. Quote, love, the queen of all hearts, the freeborn, the one and only, is put up for public sale. What a shameful tribute is this that our mastery has required of her. We cultivate love with embittered minds, with lies, and with deceit, and then accept from her joy of body and heart, but instead she bears only pain, corruption, evil fruit, and blight as her soil was sown. Child, they mad. How the fuck y'all do this to our mother? Take what she gives to us out of love to heal us, to make our hearts joyful. And y'all turn it into something that you take from her where she bears from it only pain, corruption, evil fruit, and blight. Wow. Baby, the people was hot when them fucking bullshitting ass Christians came up in there, objectifying the mother, objectifying the woman, objectifying their holy whores. Do you understand? They said, what the fuck is happening here? I don't know if y'all remember, I did recently about sex in California and how fucking piss poor it is. And I talked about Iceland. So it's interesting that Iceland is coming up here because they was like, it seemed to me like they was the last holdouts on this Christian shit, right? And so it's interesting that they talk about the Icelanders here because in this talk that I did about sex in California and how they say the most sexually liberated people on earth right now are in Iceland. Because why? Because they created an environment where women could regain control of their sexual sovereignty. And that was the great equalizer all throughout society, through the pay, through the offices held, through position, through the birth rate and the health of the people. Letitia said she laughed her ass off from watching that video because it was shameful. I'm mad. I still ain't had sex. It's been a year. As a matter of fact, August 8th will be a year since I made a full-on declaration that wasn't nobody else getting pussy unless they came correct. Here I am a year later, still ain't got laid. Don't intend to. And I love it. I masturbate every day. But I will not. Not under these circumstances. Sure won't. Made up in my mind. And then I'm listening yesterday. This is another digression. Listening yesterday to, 18 states that have petitioned their local governments, their local senates or their local legislation to be able, because they have made abortions illegal in 18 states. And so what they want to do now is if a woman seeks to go out of state to have a legal abortion in another state, they want to be able to require the records of women who have gone out of state to seek legal abortions to prosecute them. I tell you one thing that'll change the motherfucking game. That'll turn the tide on this motherfucking question real quick. Everybody strap on your motherfucking chastity belts, bitch. Oh, what? We can't have abortions? You can't have pussy. We can't have safe health care that we set the terms for? You can't get laid. Oh, what? We can't not just around abortion. What's the other one that just happened? under this Catholic president and this damn near all Catholic Supreme Court, and y'all acting surprised about these laws being rescinded. Civil rights laws, affirmative action laws. What's the other one that they just did away with? Civil rights, affirmative action, the abortion rights, how the state of Mississippi talking about they want to reenact Jim Crow laws. Okay, we'll see how you motherfuckers gonna act when ain't nobody getting laid out this bitch. I'm here for it. Because motherfuckers don't understand. Not only are y'all not getting laid, we ain't spending no money no motherfucking where. If it ain't local, if it ain't mom and pop owned, we ain't spending no money with nobody. Y'all can get, because y'all don't understand nothing but brute force. We gonna punch y'all motherfuckers in the pocket and we gonna punch you in the dicks. That's all y'all understand. So y'all talking about thrusting us back 100 years into goddamn barbarism. We got something for your ass. What you gonna do? You gonna protest? You think they give a fuck about the voices of women and marginalized people? Oh, the other one. They talking about rescinding gay rights to marriage and to like insurance and all that. What y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna protest? Y'all gonna walk? Hell no, we won't go. Yeah, that's what y'all gonna do? Ain't nobody getting laid in this motherfucker until y'all act right. Ain't nobody. I'm already here for it. I just stopped having sex because I am not into giving away sexual energy. Not if I ain't getting mine in return. You feel me? The last man I had sex with was an African man. Was black. I was so offended. I don't even want to get into it. I was so offended though. I was offended enough that for me, a vibrant I have a healthy sex drive, bitch. I just told you I masturbate every day. For me, who has never had any problem getting what I need sexually from my partner, to be saying, fuck it, I can't even take chances like this anymore. I ain't had bad sex since I was a fucking kid who didn't know no damn better, who didn't know how to ask my partner for what the fuck I need. I had, like, what the fuck kind of shit is this? So I was like, fuck it, I can't have sex. I can't have sex. Not right now. This shit gonna have to wait. But now, in light of your second Catholic president in the history of this country, and y'all think it doesn't, it has no significance to how policy is unfolding in this fucking country. The only time in the history of this country where the majority of the sitting justices on the Supreme Court are practicing and some devout Catholics, one was made an honorary Jesuit priest. And y'all think that has no impact on what is happening with policy in this country? I just told y'all I am of the belief that the Roman Catholic Church is trying to reassert its dominance on the whole fucking planet through political policy. I get what you're saying, no. I get what you're saying. Don't sweat it, sis. I'm rocking with you. You understand? And if that's the case, and I'm telling you right here that the church's assault on goddess worshiping people in Europe first, before they ever set sights on the rest of us, but this shit was happening to people in Europe. This aggression against the goddess was happening in Europe before they ever even came out, set their sights on us. The thing that the Roman Empire and the Greeks with the rise of the patriarchy was using to, one, destabilize goddess worshiping societies, and then two, win solidarity with they shit from the previously mother worshiping, earth worshiping men, was to guarantee men power over women through sex. The attacks on the matriarchal societies were sexual assaults on women's fucking bodily autonomy, their sexual sovereignty. If this is the beginning of the question, what is the resolution to the problem? Sexual sovereignty in the bodies of women who are and continue to be the producers of real life on earth that are being used as cannon fodder and goddamn chattel for corporations around the world. I know it sucks. The idea of not having sex for any period of time sucks. But if we recognize that that is the power that was used against us, shut down shop. But you can't get pregnant if you ain't giving out none. And that's not a condemnation of women in their sexual sovereignty. But I'm saying when these motherfucking men ain't acting right in the goddamn world, especially those who hold positions of power, say we about to shut this whole motherfucker down. And the only language y'all understand is the language between y'all legs and that which lines y'all motherfucking pockets. So let us speak y'all language. Let's go ahead and speak y'all language. Now I'll continue. But I'm saying these things are connected. You got a damn Nancy Pelosi is a devout Catholic. Biden is the only second Catholic president in the history of this country. A devout Catholic. Trying to play both sides of the fence. Oh, I'm so super progressive, but I'm a devout Catholic. Those two don't match. Sorry, that shit don't match. You understand? I read on the Roman, this ain't my opinion. I read this. That's why I subscribe to the Roman Catholic newsletter online. It's something like 178 members of the House of Representatives in the Senate that are devout Catholics. Y'all out here talking about hell no, we won't go. Child, listen. This motherfucker is like a hostile takeover of what little gains we've made, what little strides we've made over the last 100 years, baby. They like, we done gave y'all too much. We done let y'all have too much out of this bitch. Just about to be clamped down on this motherfucker right here. Anyway. Theologians, however, accepted commercial prostitution as a lawful immorality. In St. Thomas Aquinas' self-contradictory phrase, he called it lawful immorality. Aquinas said prostitution was necessary to, oh my God, in all things sacred, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Child, look. Aquinas said prostitution was necessary to prevent men from sodomizing one another. This shit is insane. It's not funny, but it's funny. This shit is insane. Child, Lord have mercy. He said, keep prostitution legal, because otherwise these men gonna be out here having sex with each other all over the place. A lawful immorality. Aquinas said prostitution was necessary to prevent men from sodomizing one another. Quote, take away prostitutes from the world, he said, and you will fill it with sodomy. Oh my God. Oh, Lord. Yeah. Prostitution enabled man to look upon promiscuous women as depraved, though they're equally promiscuous. Let's see. Their equally promiscuous clients were seen as helpless victims of compulsion, baby. And here we go. All right, hold on. Let me back up some of these comments real quick because y'all was going ham for a minute. Okay, let's see. I don't know who the fuck this is. Probably some motherfucking troll asking me what made it bad. Whatever. Watch the video. If they know you, they know. If they know you, then that's real. No, it's real. It's real. For me to be clearing a goddamn bout of celibacy is problematic. It's problematic. Somebody said, I don't have sex either, but I do have orgasms. Yup, 1,000%, 100%. They're trying to control women in our freedoms. When you know your worth, don't shit hurt. I suppose. The fuck? It do hurt. God damn it. That I have to make a conscious decision not to have sex because motherfuckers don't present correct. That's problematic. I enjoy sex. I enjoy sex with the opposite sex. But I can't have sex with the opposite sex right now. I can't. Not in good conscience. So can't. People are so focused on the parties only, Republican and Democrat. Damn sure we isn't. It's the great illusion. It is the great illusion. You have to see my piece on the contradiction or the history of the dichotomy of the red and blue, because when the red and blue are present together, they are always working together, even if they appear as enemies. That's biblical, by the way. So watch that video. And I think it's got like a horse and a donkey on it or some shit, but the history of the red and blue. Watch that one. Shut it down. It doesn't match at all. Carlotta here, just realized you were live. Okay. All right. So let's keep going. Prostitution enabled man to look upon promiscuous women as depraved, though their equally promiscuous clients were seen as helpless victims of compulsion. There was no recognition of the truth that most prostitutes acted under a more telling compulsion than any man's sexuality, the need to earn wherewithal to keep alive. It was not an easy living. At best, the prostitute was forced to make herself a stranger's abject servant. At worst, she could become his tormented victim. Certain anti-clerical writers maintain that prostitutes should be respected for their willingness to be kind. Lorenzo Valla's 15th century De Voluptate called for a return to ancient customs, echoing Horace's Omnia voluptuous bona es. Valla wrote, quote, whores and prostitutes deserve more from the human race than do. Ooh! Valla, let me read this slow for y'all so it can hit y'all in the gut like it just hit me. Shit, Valla wrote, quote, whores and prostitutes deserve more from the human race than do nuns with their chastity and their virginity. End quote. You understand? Y'all ain't here because I ain't got a whoop whoop. I ain't got to raise the roof. I ain't got none of it. He said whores and prostitutes deserve more from the human race than do nuns with their chastity and their virginity. Of course, such sentiments did not prevail. 2 centuries later, English apprentices celebrated each Shrove Tuesday by breaking into whorehouses and beating the inmates. It also became customary in England for men to, quote, punish the whores they patronized by hamstringing. Oh my God. Cutting the sinews of the legs to make the woman a permanent cripple. Oh my God. One might be reminded of the Chinese custom of crippling courtesans by foot binding. God punished the whores in hell even more severely than men punished them on earth. According to God's spokesman, whose asceticism engendered sexual fantasies of astonishing violence, monkish, it said God punished the whores in hell even more severely than men punished them on earth, according to God's spokesman, whose asceticism engendered sexual fantasies of astonishing violence. Monkish deprivations and repressions led to secret envy and fierce hatred of the carnal folk who might be suspected of enjoying sexual activity. Imagine. The hatred poured out in 1,000 nasty fantasies of hell. Abbé François Arnoux, canon of Riez in 1622, provides an example. And the light women these shall have in their arms a dragon most cruel, flaming with fire, who shall bind and enchain their feet and their legs with his serpent tail, and shall clasp their whole body with his cruel talons, who shall put his beslabbered and reeking mouth upon theirs, breathing therein flames of fire and sulfur and poison and venom, who with his nose glandered and hideous shall breathe into theirs a breath most stinking and venomous. This dragon shall make them suffer 1,000 agonies, 1,000 colics, and bitter twistings of the belly, and all the damned shall howl, and the devils with them. See the wanton, see the strumpet, let her be tortured indeed. To it, ye devils, to it, ye demons, to it, ye hellish furies. See the harlot, see the troll. Hurl ye upon this whore and wreak upon her all the torments you can. Damn. On the wall of the women's section of the Church of St. John the Baptist in Castoria, a painting showed God's punishment of a whore. Bound in hell, the woman had her legs stretched apart by 2 demons, while a third demon plunged red-hot irons into her vagina. Next to the woman punished for being sexually available, another woman labeled the vain coquette. The vain coquette was similarly punished for not being sexually available. These women are all in hell, by the way. So the woman who is sexually available, the woman who is a whore, and the one who would not make herself sexually available were all in hell being punished by demons, according to this painting in the church. This is a painting. This is detailing a painting in a church. Women attending this church might well be excused for thinking they were damned if they did and damned if they didn't. Churchmen did not distinguish between a professional prostitute and a woman in love with a lover. Both were whores. The whole point of patriarchal morality was that women must not have the right to pick and choose men. Y'all ain't heard what the hell I just said. The whole point of patriarchal morality was that women must not have the right to pick and choose men. Now, let me tell you what this reminds me of, because this ain't just a story about women. It says, according to the church, the whole point of patriarchal morality was that women must not have a right to pick and choose men. But what happens is when you got these holy rollers spewing Christian morality, seeking positions of office, and then when they get them positions of office, they are these hardcore proponents in opposition to all things other. Homosexuality, anything that's considered other. They're the hardcore proponents. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, they are seeking out those things that they are most violently opposed to in public. That is about power. That is not about desire. That is not about poor him. He didn't have the courage to come out of the closet. That's not what that's about. I can set the terms, bitch, because I'm the man. I am the white male in this suit, in this position of power. I can set the terms, bitch. You can't set the terms. So if it's a male that he's having sex with, if it's a transgender person that he's having sex with, it don't matter. It is partly about, no, it's not. It's about power. It's about power. When they are sending a message to the world, I can straddle the fence. I can have the power to dominate your life, to dominate every aspect of your life, whether you can get adequate health care or not, whether you can get an abortion if I fucking get you pregnant. And I can still go out here and have sex with whoever the hell I want because I'm white and male and in this 3-piece suit and in this position of power over your fucking life. So it's not a contradiction for these motherfuckers to be in positions of power, be the primary proponents of, the primary protesters against anything other than holy goddamn morality imposed on us by Christian doctrine. And then go out and do coke and party with the transsexuals, a party with the homosexuals, get busy with the others of the world. You understand? And still go home to his wife and kids and go to his office at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning and do the white guy and not feel no kind of way about it, because that's what power does. Power gives you the ability to do whatever the fuck you want at anybody else's expense. Power as defined by Christianity, Christian morality, by American politics. Child, please. So while this is specifically talking about women and what was happening as the church was redefining what femininity was, what womanhood was completely attempting to suffocate the life out of any remaining glimpses of goddess worship as it related to how men related to women. You understand? But we talking about all otherness in this country right now. We talking about all otherness. This is the same old shit a couple thousand years later. For a woman to fall passionately in love was a tragedy under the medieval church. To pay for a few stolen hours of love, both she and her lover were doomed to an eternity of suffering. The point was illustrated by Grunewald's painting, The Damnation of Lovers, showing a sinful pair as emaciated corpses in hell, with worms burrowing through their flesh, the woman crowned with a coiled serpent, her genitals gnawed at by a toad. According to a 15th century illustration for St. Augustine's De Civitate Dei, lovers would be bound together on spits in hell and roasted over coals fanned by devils. With Western religion envisioning such grisly punishments for sexual enjoyment, it's hardly surprising to find Western civilization as a whole seized by It's hardly surprising to find Western civilization as a whole seized by a sick compulsion to destroy all forms of pleasure. Even in the Christian heaven, however, whores had their special protectors, modeled on pagan Roman harlot goddesses like Venus and Meretrix. Official Catholic patrons of whores were Saint Afra, Saint Aphrodite, Saint Magdalene or Magdalene, simple canonizations of formal titles of the goddess. Chief protectress of whores was the Virgin Mary. Chief protectress of whores was the Virgin Mary. In Antwerp, up to the present century, prostitutes spent certain annual feast days marching in procession to the churches to dedicate candles to the Holy Virgin, whom they called their own special deity. Talking about the Virgin Mary. Because you remember, whores were considered virgins. An oft-told tale of the Middle Ages said when a nun decided to run away from her convent to live as a prostitute for a few days, Mary assumed the errant nun's appearance and took her place in the convent so she wouldn't be missed or pursued. Did y'all hear me? Y'all ain't still with me. I done read too long. Shit. Let me go ahead and wrap this shit up. Okay, I'm almost done. I got a page left. Listen, in an often told tale of the Middle Ages, when it was said that a nun who had decided to run away from her convent to live as a prostitute for a few days, she was like, look, I don't know about y'all. I need to get laid. I'm the fuck up out of here. It is said that Mary, the saint, you heard, assumed the errant nun's appearance and took her place in the convent so she would not be missed or pursued. Go get yours, girl. Just bring your ass back, because I ain't staying here all this time. But I got you. I'm going to take your place so you can go get yours. Okay? A German variant of the story said the nun, Beatrix, left the convent to live with her heathen lover for 15 years. When she returned, she found that Mary had served as her stand-in the whole time. The Virgin Mary had her back. Y'all ain't heard what I just said. Y'all ain't heard what I just said. This said here that the Virgin Mary was the chief protectress of whores. The Holy Virgin, who they called their own special deity. And the often told story, there was a nun who was like, look, I gotta get laid. Like, this vow celibacy shit is for the birds. Let me go on out here and get mine for a few days. Watch my back. Mary said, bet, I got you. But bring your ass back. That's one story. In the German version of the story, the bitch didn't come back for 15 years. And she came back and Mary still had her back. She was like, you with that bullshit, but I got you. You hear me? Y'all ain't heard. This shit is great. This shit is great. Medieval brothels were not always clearly distinguished. Child, medieval brothels were not always clearly distinguished from convents. Listen, man. Listen, man. A trace of the pagan collegia of priestesses still clung to both institutions. Early double convents with men and women united in one community sometimes housed consecrated prostitutes. Several popes maintained holy brothels in Rome. Queen Joanna of Naples founded a religious house of prostitutes called the Abbey in the papal city of Avignon. In the Victorian times, it was still a common custom to call the madam of a whorehouse the abbess, though the historical precedence was forgotten. Outside the Judeo-Christian tradition, prostitution often became a fully legitimate lifestyle. Black Africans never fully accepted missionaries' views on the matter. White men's laws deprived African women of their property and their monopoly of farming, trading, and crafts by which they supported their children. African women suffered a devastating loss of self-respect, for in their society, a woman without her own income was regarded with contempt. On finding that white men would pay for their sexual favors, many African women took up prostitution as their last remaining chance to make an honest living. Africans still regard a successful prostitute as a usefully employed businesswoman rather than a criminal. By contrast, Christian societies seldom offered women any formal opportunity to take up prostitution as a career, but half deliberately looked the other way as many hundreds of young girls fell into it. 18th century London swarmed with female children struggling to keep themselves alive by prostitution, according to a contemporary pamphlet denouncing little creatures piled in heaps upon one another, sleeping in the public streets in the most rigorous seasons, and some of them whose heads will hardly reach above the waistband of a man's breeches, found to be quick with child and become burdensome to the parish. That's a quote from a pamphlet that I just read you. Calling little girls little creatures. Far from extending sympathy to these little girls, the pamphleteer called them wicked whores. A quote, a most enormous sin to lay snares for the unwary and to the means of ruining both souls and bodies of so many innocent young gentlemen. Oh my God. Oh my God. And we want to say that's all there is to it. God damn it. The babies whose heads can barely reach the waistbands of men's breeches are wicked whores, laying snares for the unwary and the means of ruining both the souls and bodies of these innocent young men. According to the terminology of the time, a wench, child, look. According to the terminology of the time, A wench was a child of either sex. Dryden's description of a gentleman as one who eats, drinks, and wenches abundantly. God damn. A parent, Lord have mercy, According to the terminology of the time, a wench was a child of either sex. Dryden's description of a gentleman was one who, quote, eats, drinks, and wenches abundantly. Apparently meant a man who picked up homeless male or female children in the streets to service his sexual idiosyncrasies. Later, wench came to mean only a lower class female, a servant, or a peasant available for a gentleman's sexual use. By the 19th century, thousands of girls under the age of 14 were listed on English police registers as common prostitutes. London in 1860 had at least 500 registered prostitutes under the age of 13 and 1,500 more under the age of 16. Victorian gentlemen had a taste for raping child virgins who commanded the highest prices in whorehouses. Experienced child whores were taught to imitate the cries and struggles of a newly deflowered victim, and to insert, oh my God, to assert the trigger warning. I'm triggered. Trigger warning. So if you want to cut this off, that's fine. I understand. To insert leeches or broken glass into their vaginas to produce convincing flow of blood. Josephine Butler's investigations of the English system of prostitution led to legislation to raise the age of consent to 14. Still, large numbers of younger girls were captured and immured in brothels. The law was lax, and on the matter of abduction and the punishment for trafficking in girls was desultory. Male authorities took an interest in prostitution only after they clearly understood its connection with rampant venereal disease. Legal relegation of brothels was instituted then, but this didn't mean closing them. It meant subjecting them to medical inspection so that they would be safe for male patrons. Whores were not considered full-fledged human beings. The 18th century term for a whore was a fleshy convenience. The word convenience also meant an outhouse. An outhouse. So the word convenience in 18th century was a word used for a prostitute, but it also was the same word used for an outhouse. One might say that from the revered sacred harlot of antiquity to this was a long road backwards. That's the end of the reading for today. I'm sorry it ended on such a fucking horribly somber note. But this was a necessary read. I forgot. You saw how well marked up it was when I started reading to you. Now look at it. Now look at all my side notes. Look at all my additional markings. Yes, the day of reckoning is upon us because the crimes are so gruesome and so many. They're too many to count. And somebody got to pay. That's my position. Somebody got to pay. Somebody got to pay. There has to be the great undoing. And in order for these crimes to be undone, so we can, somebody got to pay. Child, somebody got to pay. So that's what I'm going to leave y'all with. I'm going to read again tomorrow. Whatever, Letitia. She said, just mark the whole page. Oh my goodness. Yes, Carlotta says the goddess as the Virgin Mary supports women's sexual autonomy. Yes, and so isn't it fascinating that the story told about her is how her sexual autonomy was taken from her to give birth to God. Have you ever read Burning Women by Lucy Pierce? No, I haven't, but let me put that in my notes. Let me know if you can read this as a group. Okay, well, let me read it or let me skim through it, but more than likely I will just because it's been recommended. Burning Women. Lucy Pierce. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys. A little bit of housekeeping. If you would like to contribute to the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence, you can see my Cash App, I think, on the bottom, but I'll just go ahead and type it into the box and say it out loud. So my Cash App is $ Iapo with a capital I, Ingina with a capital N. My my PayPal. And I want to thank Monami. Monami gave a generous donation yesterday. That was awesome. My PayPal is Iapo for Uhuru at yahoo.com. My Zelle is my email address, releaseheartcenter at gmail.com. And my Venmo is Cassandra Floyd. There you go. So if you want to make a contribution, any amount is welcome. Any amount is going to be greatly appreciated. And that's helpful because my YouTube channel is still not monetized. I still need 112 subscribers to my page before I can monetize my page. So share my shit, like my shit, make clips of my shit to share with others, drive people to my YouTube channel and tell them they cannot leave my shit until they subscribe. You feel me? I need 112 subscribers. Let's get these subscribers so I can force these people to monetize my shit. You feel me? You feel me? Can I get a whoop whoop? Can I get a all right, I got you something? I'm going to need people to subscribe to my page. My page, my YouTube channel, for those that are not watching on YouTube, is Daughter of the Fates. Daughter of the Fates. Fates. Daughter of the Fates is my YouTube channel. As a matter of fact, let me, can I do that? It's youtube.com, I think, / Daughter of the Fates. It's Daughter of the Fates. Put it in the shit. You can't miss it. And that's all I got for you. I'm probably going to read from this tomorrow because I wanted to, but listen, when I read tomorrow, I'm going to read straight through with no dialogue. Then afterwards, that way I can get through it quick. Then afterwards, I'll open up the discussion for some questions, for some feedback, for some observations. So this shit don't take almost 2 hours. We've been on here almost 2 hours because I kept stopping. So I'm going to read it straight through. And then we can have a discussion about it. Let's do it like that. That way, yeah, it goes more smoothly. But that was a hell of a reading. So tomorrow I'm thinking, because like I said, I marked up a bunch of stuff that I was going to do today. But I think tomorrow I might do menstrual blood, which is gangster. It's gangster. Y'all gonna have an attitude, but it's some shit we need to know. I think we're going to do, we're going to do menstrual blood and we're going to do Lucifer. So I want to do a straight hard read through of both those sections, which are only about 2 pages each. And then we'll open the floor to discussion. So tomorrow we're going to do menstrual blood and Lucifer from the great, magnanimous, wonderful, game-changing works of Barbara Walter called The Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets. The Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets. The Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets. So that's what we're going to do. I just had an idea. I think I'm going to do this. So I have been, for the last month and a half, not really doing temple services the way I had been before I went to go spend time with my mom who was sick. So this is what I'm going to do. What's this Saturday? This Saturday is the 22nd. That's tomorrow. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do a service tomorrow. That's what this live is going to be tomorrow. It's going to be a temple service. Everything is the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence, but now it'll be official. I will put it on our Facebook pages, our Facebook groups and stuff. It'll officially be a temple service tomorrow July 22nd from 11. What do we usually do? 11 to 1. That's 2 hours, right? 11 to 12. Yeah, 11 to 1. So we'll do a 2-hour we'll do a 2-hour temple service tomorrow. I'm looking into this space that says that they allow 501c3s to use the space for free, but I have to negotiate some shit with them. So we shall see. But tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'll go ahead and make the invite as soon as I get off here. Tomorrow will be a Temple of Evolutionary Emergence official service, where I will still go over menstrual blood and what did I say? What did I say? It was menstrual blood and what did I say? Did I say lotus? Oh, Lucifer. That's what it was. Menstrual blood and Lucifer. Those are the two things from the Women's Encyclopedia, Myths and Secrets, that we're going to cover tomorrow in, thank you, Letitia, that we're going to cover in the Temple of Evolutionary Service tomorrow. But I think I'm going to do the same thing with this book now that I'm thinking about it. I think I'm going to do the same thing with this book that I did with the Great Cosmic Weather. We will discuss tomorrow this book and what we've talked about already. But I think what I'm going to do on YouTube is do like straight reads that I did of the Great Cosmic Mother, and then we'll use the temple services as the place to discuss what has been read, because I think this is a book that needs to be read all the way through too, truth be told. I probably won't read it straight through, but I probably won't read everything in it either, but a great majority of it I will. This book is the jam. And I think this is going to be our next book. I will still probably do political educations because the discussion on the state was great the other day. I'll just probably have to break it up. But, oh, shit, sorry. So anyway, that's all I got for you. I will see you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for the next temple service of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. Until then, y'all have a good night. Go dancing, make love. Yes, Carlotta, absolutely. I feel that. Every time I read something about the early origins of this religion, I'm just like, how are we still trapped in this shit? How does spell still cast? Anyway, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a good night. Go dance, eat great food, drink great drinks. You understand? Make passionate love if you still doing that. I ain't doing that, but do what you do. Have a good night. Peace be to you all.